What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of E-Commerce Uncensored, brought to you by Fast Forward Unlimited. My name is Kevin Manel, and I'm with Jason Caruso.
You know, you don't
interrupt me.
No, but you're not this happy ever. And it just sounds so it sounds fake. It sounds fake. It sounds manufactured because you don't ever sound like this.
I'm always upbeat.
You're so full of crap. I'll call you up and say, "Hey, Kev, did you see this ad performing?" You're like, "Yeah, good. Well, I'll talk about it when we get to the studio."
He's full of it. He must be on all the meds because he had his teeth taken out yesterday.
No,
or
you're never
whatever he had done
this happy ever.
Listen to this laugh. This is an authentic laugh.
Yeah, right. Okay, let's go.
You're such a pain in my ass. God.
Anyway,
all right. So we're going to get into today. We're going to talk about some Facebook ads. We talk a lot of stuff, e-commerce store marketing, and a big focus on what we do is Facebook ads. So today we want to talk to you about 5 keys to running a successful Facebook ad campaign. As long as Jay is done.
But that wasn't the title. You added a few words.
What did I do? What did I say?
It's all right. All right.
Are you done busting my balls?
I'm done.
Okay, thank you. We can move on now with our podcast. Now that all the phones are turned off.
Right. So basically, we've been running Facebook ads for a while now, and really a while doesn't really mean anything anymore because it changes so quickly as Facebook gets better, as their algorithms change.
I'll tell you one change I get frustrated with. It's not even the algorithm. It's the fact that they change the platform every day.
Yeah. Well, mine doesn't change. I don't
know why mine is different from yours, but
because they want to mess with you. Yeah. They annoys you.
I don't know how that happens, but anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Finish what you were saying.
Yeah. So, running. It's funny because you hear a lot of people say, with all my years of experience running Facebook ads, and we say that sometimes too, but really it changes so much because Facebook gets smarter. And we're going to talk about this, but it used to be like you got to really target, and then like that's sort of like changed, right? And we're going to get into that later on, but it's really not like that.
And it's so smart, it used to be, and I say used to be like I've been running it, forever, but sometimes you could run a successful ad campaign and just kind of do the same kind of thing for another niche kind of thing.
We didn't get into that yet, right?
What?
You just roll into.
Well, I'm trying to roll into number one.
Okay, well, you have to say number one.
Well,
you just like roll into it. Anyway, sorry guys, we're a little all over the place today.
No, I think you're just a pain in the ass.
All right. Anyway, so number one, the number one thing that we see in terms of running Facebook ads, we have the. I don't want to know about the pleasure is the right word, but we have the I don't know what the
luxury?
word is. The luxury, not right? Really. We get to run ads for a lot of different niches, a lot of different industries. We have the privilege, I guess, of running all Facebook ads for all kinds of niches, and so it gives us a lot of sort of experience as to what works and what doesn't. And it's funny that when we came up with this list, a lot of what we talk about or what we see is not like what works and what doesn't work. It's more like it's different for everybody. Like one product works really well with this strategy, another product works really well with another strategy, and another product works well with another strategy. And it's funny because you can use, we have clients where we'll do like a free plus shipping offer and it blows. It's like it just blows up, and then we do that same strategy with another type of business, and
even it's a product at the same price point, so it's not even a price thing. It's the same range of cost, so that's not an issue. It's just a different niche, right?
Yeah, what we're finding is like in the supplement industry that people aren't going to just put stuff. They're just not going to eat anything, right? Like you have to educate them a little bit more, whereas let's say like skincare or products like that, like people are always willing to try.
Yeah, you would think that you're giving something away for free that people would just eat that up, right? But when
no pun intended.
Yeah, no pun intended. But when it comes to things like that, you gotta test that out and see if people are actually willing to take something for free that they're actually going to ingest into their body.
Right. So really for number one, and this is like a big deal. You need to write this down. Like, it's different for everybody, and you have to test. Testing is, I mean, we go into like running ads and we're like, oh man, this is going to be awesome. We're going to like blow it out of the park or knock it out of the park. And then it doesn't work. Yeah. And then you have to try, like, pivot. So number one, you have to test. Everything is different. Everything is different. Now you have to know what to test, but we'll talk about that. That's another conversation, but you must test. Don't think that if you see somebody being successful that like in your industry that all of a sudden they were just successful. They tested, and that's something that you really should take seriously.
Well, just for instance, like real quick, we'll just go over real quick, like the 3 scenarios that we have here that we want to outline, that we're trying 3 different things for 3 different niches. So we have a beauty line that we're doing a free plus shipping advertisement straight to an offer, and it's selling like hotcakes, right? Then, we have the supplement, which we tried the free plus shipping, but it wasn't so successful. So now we're moving over into a more educational campaign. So we're trying to teach people more about the product and the supplement itself before trying to sell them. And actually, we started talking about this yesterday. Like, maybe this will end up working, selling the thing for full price after they're educated a little bit,
right?
Instead of giving it away for free.
So
just the psychology of things that take place that you have to think about, as the shoppers come and visit your site.
Right, and then we have a guy in the barbecue space who has a $1,500 or $1,600 oven that, obviously you can't give that away for free. Now, he doesn't have any other products at this particular second. Actually, he just finally came up with some. So you might want to try a free plus shipping with those. But with him, we're retargeting people who have clicked Google ads.
Yeah.
So really, like, you have to test. You have to try different things. Certain things are going to work better, or things are going to work better in certain niches, and though that very same strategy might not work in others. So you really have to, test everything.
Yeah, and I think that kind of leads us right into number 2. Don't you think?
Yeah, number 2 is huge, and I think that, like, even us, we fall into this, and we talk about, guys, we try to be as transparent with you as possible. We don't know everything, and we're not, we're not perfect, and we do things that don't work just like anybody else. But one really valuable lesson that we have learned over, I would say, the last 6 months is, like, if you're doing something, or you're trying something, or you're testing something, like, if it doesn't work, like, right away, and I don't mean, like, making 100 orders a day or 200 orders a day, but if you're not seeing the ad in like 24 hours, if it's not getting any traction at all, don't force the product or the strategy down your customers' throats or your target audience's throats. Because just because you take something and maybe reword it a little bit here or there, it doesn't mean they're going to magically, want the product or the offer. So you just have to be cognizant of not trying to force something down people's throats that they're not really interested in. That's a tough lesson to learn.
Yeah, it is. I mean, we'll talk about some numbers in a second and what to look out for, but we do it a lot, like Jason said. We're like, people must want this. This is great. Let's change the image. Maybe it's not the image. Maybe we're not wording this properly, or something like that. Or maybe we just got to throw more money at it, or something like that. But really, you could test with, obviously you're going to get more results back quicker if you put more money towards it. But you're really going to start to see how your audience is responding pretty quickly with Facebook ads.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not getting clicks, you're not getting, conversions, nobody's buying, or, it's just flat out not working, then don't, try to make it work, because there's a good chance it's not going to. In fact, we talked about a skincare line last, and we did a free plus shipping offer we started off with one product. It didn't work. We did a free plus shipping with another product, and it just blew up. 40 sales a day, 60 sales a day. And we did the same strategy. We did nothing differently. It was just a different product, and the market told us they didn't want the other one, they want this one. So it really, comes down to what people want to spend their money on. And if they don't want to spend it on a product that you think, it goes back to the 80-20 rule. I talked to Kevin about this a lot. I've managed multi-million-dollar websites, and e-commerce websites, and a lot of times, the owner of the company will be like, well, I want to sell this product, or I want to sell that product, and it's like there's going to be 20% of your products are going to sell 80% of the time, right? And the same thing goes the other way around. It's like 20% of your products are going to sell, and the other 80% are not going to sell. So don't try to make people buy something that they don't want. And that's a huge lesson. That's a huge lesson that we've really tried to, like, if it doesn't work in 24 hours, maybe 48 hours we'll give it. That's it. Doesn't work, we're moving on. So, big lesson.
All right, so let's talk about, like, how do you know if something's working? So number 3 is knowing what to expect is from some of the numbers you may be seeing in Facebook ads. Click-through rate, CPC, relevancy score, things like that.
Yeah, so one thing that, like, I find that I don't hear people talking about enough, and for me personally, I think it's like one of those things where I really am putting a lot of stock in this next thing. And basically, when you go into a new market, right? So we sell physical products for our customers. We sell digital products for ourselves. We sell services, so we help, we do the service stuff. And the hardest part about breaking into a new market or doing something new is, like, you don't know what to expect, right? Like, if you're getting someone to purchase your product at it's taking you, you're spending $20 to get someone to buy a $50 item, or better yet, like the ovens, you're paying $400 to get someone to buy a $1,600 oven. If you know that's the norm, it's easy for you mentally to stay in the game. But if you don't know that it takes $400 to sell a $1,600 product, you're going to be like, oh my God, like, oh, that can't be possible. How can I spend $400 to sell $1,600? And I always think that if, like, we can go into a market and we know what to expect, then we're much better off. Kevin can tell you a story about when we started doing our own digital products, and our conversions were at what?
Yeah, I mean, I think they were at maybe $8 to $10 a lead we were capturing, and it kind of freaked me out a little bit. It seemed like a lot, but, like, as we've evolved over time and as we've learned more and cost of customer acquisition and how much it costs to get these people in the door and get these leads to follow you, it's not really that much money.
Yeah, and I think what Kevin was suffering from was, we can sell, like, a product and get a lead for 50 cents or $1, right? And his mentality was, that's what it should be no matter what we do, right? It's always around $1, or he even thought $2 was too much.
I did. And
you thought $2 was too much?
We would run a campaign, and we would leave the office, and by the time I got home, the ad would be off because I was what do you call it, a trigger happy?
You were getting hyper nervous.
And you have to let it run. I mean, you get one conversion for $8, that doesn't mean it's going to stay there, or you get one conversion for $12. You got to let the time run a little bit and get Facebook to learn what it should be displaying, or where it should be displaying, when it should be displaying. Because even right now, like, we're learning for one of our digital products that just because of our audience, we feel like at this point, I mean, we just started the ad last night, but it's very hot at night, in the middle of the night. And then during the day, it seems like people are at work or they're managing their businesses, and it's not reacting. Like, it's not. And fortunately, Facebook will kind of almost do that work for you, so it'll slow the ad during the day a little bit if it sees that people aren't interacting with the ad or converting at that point.
Yeah, we weren't planning this, but if you guys are running Facebook ads for your e-commerce store and you do not understand the pixel, Facebook's pixel, we just created a course called Pixel Secrets, and basically we run down the entire pixel, how it works, how to use it properly so that you can lower your conversions. That's just a quick plug. We didn't really plan.
That's kind of the course that I'm talking about. The ads that we're running for that course is this Pixel Secrets course. So, there'll
be a link
in the podcast.
Notes, if you want to join, but it's not very expensive. It's like $37 or something like that. Just depends really if you need it. you know. But it's very inexpensive, and you can learn all about the pixel. But anyway, so knowing what to expect is important, right? Like we don't ever run an ad if the click-through rate is below 1%. So if the click-through rate for our ad is below 1%, doesn't matter what niche it's in, any niche, if it's below 1%, off.
Right. So just so you guys are aware, click-through rate is the amount of impressions you get.
Well, no, it's the amount of clicks you get.
The amount of clicks you get
compared to the impressions.
I'm not a math major.
Right.
But so say your ad gets shown to 1,000 people. If 10 people clicked on your ad, that would give you a 1% click-through rate. So that's kind of how that works, just so you guys know.
Right. So if the click-through rate is below 1%, the ad goes off. Doesn't matter the industry. That doesn't mean anything. It just has to be above a 1%. Now, in terms of digital products, well, let me step back. In terms of B2B versus B2C, B2B products, that click-through rate can go down a little bit, and depending on the product you're selling and the cost, you can afford to be under 1%. But for generally speaking, if we're doing B2C, so business to consumer, so if we're running ads for that, if it's below 1, we won't even think about it. It just goes off. Now, cost per click is another metric that Facebook gives you, and this one's not as cut and dry. Really, cost per click really comes down to what you can afford. So if somebody's clicking over at $5, right? So it's costing you $5 to get one person to click, but you get 10 people, so 5 times 10 is 50, and if you get 3 of those people to convert at a product that's $100, you can afford to pay $5. I hope that was clear. But the point is that the clicks, the cost per click, it's not something that we would really turn an ad on or off for. It really just comes down to what the
value of the click, right? Pretty much.
No, well,
I mean, it's also going to be dependent on. We'll talk about this in a second. Is the way you format your ad, because there's different ways to tell Facebook how to serve your ad for clicks or for conversions. Now, if you're doing clicks, then it's going to try to get your cost per click down, and then it's going to try to show your ad to those kind of people who are just going to click.
Yeah, but I think that's right.
And the B2B and B2C thing is also a consideration too.
Well, I guess what I was trying to say is that if you can afford to spend $10 to have someone click through because you have a $10,000 product that people are buying, then the cost per click is irrelevant.
Well, you got to look at your conversion rate too. Like how's your landing page doing? If one person goes and one person converts, or 50% conversion, so that's kind of how you have to think about it as well.
Right, and then another thing to look at in Facebook ads is the relevancy score. And it might be relevance score.
Relevant, yeah.
And basically, what the relevance score is Facebook tells you how your audience is interacting with your ad, and they give that a score between 1 and 10. Now, we've seen our B2C, so physical products to, a business to customer, we can get those to like 8 or 9 out of 10. We've gotten them 10 out of 10. I think our oven customer, we had it at a 10 at one point. Not really that big of a deal if it's a 9 or a 10. But with other products, like digital products, it's more like around the 5 to 6 is pretty good.
Yeah. So, and what that's going to do is that's going to lower your cost per click, really. So if you have if Facebook thinks that you're really connecting with your audience, it's going to give you a higher relevancy score. So it's just going to in turn lower your cost per click, because that's what Facebook wants. It wants people to enjoy their experience on their platform. They want to see things that they know their audience wants to see. So it's going to reward you for having an ad in front of people who are connecting with your product.
Yeah, it's funny because I actually used to have a Facebook guy, and the way he explained it was that it's not really, they don't really well, they do reward you. They will show it to more people if it's more relevant. But he said the cost comes down not really from that, but from more people are going to click within the reach. So if you have 1,000 people that see your ad and you get and it's more relevant and more people click, the cost per click just comes down by default. Right. That's sort of how we explained it. But they will show your ad more, as Kevin said, if it's relevant to that audience.
Right on.
All right, so the next, number 4.
Number 4 is, like I spoke earlier, about setting up your ads in certain, having certain objectives for your ads. Now, for this specific podcast, we're just going to talk about clicks versus conversions. And
those are the two. Well, no, actually, video views is starting to really become popular as well. So they're all, maybe we should add video views in there because you do a lot of that. So.
Yeah. So basically, when you're setting up your ad, you set up you start with an objective. So you just want to drive traffic to your website. So you want to get as many clicks as you can on your ad, drive traffic to your landing page. Your goal is a conversion. So you want someone to perform a specific action. Either buy a product or sign up for a lead gen form, or anything that would involve them converting on your website
or completing an event.
Yeah, any kind of event, right? A click, it could be even a click, right? So,
right.
And then there's, like Jason said, video views. So you can put a video on a Facebook ad and you say, Facebook, I just want as many people to watch this video as possible, and they'll display your ad to people who are most likely to watch a video, not necessarily click or convert, just watch, right?
Yeah,
on the Facebook platform.
And the thing about this, again, this comes down to I'm going to go back to Pixel Secrets because it ties in, and I don't want to keep shamelessly plugging it, but it matters. You're building the intelligence of your pixel by setting up clicks and conversions, right? So like if you don't have any traffic to your website and you can't tell Facebook who likes your products, you may want to set up a Facebook ad for clicks because they're going to show your ad to people who click. Now, people who tend to click, there will be some buyers in there. I mean, everybody has bought in something in their life. So I don't, conversions and clicks, there are people who tend to convert more, but those people are mixed into the people who click. So you may want to run an ad for website clicks, or they call it traffic. Let your pixel learn who those people are who are going to convert. Then you create a conversion ad and allow Facebook to optimize for conversions, and they will take the people who have converted and match them up with other people on Facebook just like those people, and then that will bring your conversion rates down. And we talk about all this in Pixel Secrets. And if you want Pixel Secrets, just go to ecommerceuncensored.com/pixel-secrets, and you can join up. You can join up there and start the course.
Yeah, cool. I mean, I think the main thing what Jason's trying to say is that if you start an ad from conversions, that's your objective. It's a little bit of a risk because Facebook really doesn't know who's going to convert. It's going to kind of put your Facebook ad into people who are
more likely
to convert, but it doesn't really know what the conversion is yet. So if you teach it by driving traffic to the website or the landing page, and you show it, okay, this is because you have your custom conversion set up, once you learn through Pixel Secrets, then it'll know that exact person. This many people converted, they did this action, show my ad in front of people who are more like this.
Right, so this is definitely something that, we've kind of learned over time. And again, guys, I want to go back to number 1 where, every niche is different. We have ran ads for website clicks and website traffic, which is the same thing. And we've run ads, and then we've run conversion ads for that same group of people, and the clicks actually converted better. The food blog stuff.
Yeah.
So it really, and also like webinars, we see that webinars work better if you use conversions. If you use clicks, our experience has been like people won't convert. As soon as we change it to conversions, it seems to work better. So even though this is like a really big deal, you definitely want to test to see which one works. I would always start off with clicks to website, try to get some people excited, engage with your brand, and then try to go for the jugular with the conversions to sales.
Or even the other option, like Jason said, is the video views. You could start there too. Just get people to start interacting with your ad a little bit. So Facebook learns.
Engaging with your ad, yep.
Yeah, and understands who wants to see your ad. And that, again, we'll go back to number 3. It'll increase your relevancy score, in turn change your cost per click, and it's like a whole algorithm that you got to kind of play around with and test.
Okay. Now, last but not least, and I think this is one of, if not the, well, I would say all these are important, and this is really important as well. But one thing that I see on Facebook a lot when people's ads are not working, the first thing I guess the quote unquote gurus like to say is, "Oh, you don't know how to target," and if you've probably felt this way, because we have, where we're running ads and people aren't engaging with the ad, and we're like, oh, our targeting sucks, or our targeting isn't working. And one thing that we've kind of learned is that let me give you an example. We're in the e-commerce space and we target Shopify people, okay? For the most part, those are going to be people who use Shopify. Now, there are going to be some developers in there. There are going to be some sales guys in there. We know that. But for the most part, they're going to be Shopify people. Mm-hmm. So, if our ad isn't working, there's a really good chance it's not the targeting.
Right, and that audience is huge, right?
That's a huge audience.
I think it said, what did it say, 21 million or 44 million people?
Well, just in the U.S., I think it came down.
Yeah, so it's huge. And if you listen, and we listen to a lot of podcasts and other people talk about this kind of stuff, they say, to keep it between 500 and a million people, I think. And, we do stand by that sometimes, but I don't think it's necessary.
I really never look at it. As long as there's a million people, like, I'm fine. Like, I don't, and even if it's 400,000 or 500,000, it's still a lot of freaking people.
But it goes back to just training Facebook, because Facebook will, the broader it is, it's going to automatically narrow down your target as people start to engage with your content.
Well, yeah, I think you kind of like jumped a little bit there, but the point of the targeting was that when you start your targeting, start it very broad. Right? So people like to like niche all the way down. And the problem is you're kind of like putting yourself in a box. Whereas if you just target very broad, so like let's say you did Shopify men between the ages of 25 to 35, something like that, that's pretty broad. Now, you run your ad to all those people, and then let the demographics of your ad, right? So let the ad itself target down for you. So if you're targeting men from 25 to 35 and you run these ads and you see only men between like 24 and 30 clicking, you can bring that down now to a narrower audience. So you don't have to be so broad. But don't just try to guess. I would certainly guess on the sex of the person, right? Like men or women, like if you're selling a product to women, men aren't going to buy it. You could be smart in that sense, mm-hmm. Or you can know well enough in that sense. But I don't think that, you know the exact age, unless you've been doing it for a while. But even then, like we've had customers come to us and say, look, my target audience is 44 to 55. We run the ads and everybody that is buying it is like 18 to 25.
Right.
So you have to let the ad itself narrow down your targeting, not so much you doing it. This is something that I totally disagree with when people say like, oh, then you got to go to Shopify, then you got to go to people who like Shopify and also like, this app and also do this. And this is like, it just gets too confusing.
Yeah, I mean, the success we're having with the skincare line is we started out, it was a facial product. We started out with facial skincare. It flunked. It failed. So I just broadened it out. I did a skincare interest, and it just went off. And it's like a huge audience. It's still running, and it's got lots of ways to scale it.
Yeah, and I mean we've sold like 2,000 products. We have 2,000 orders like since January, and we're in March right now.
Yeah.
So I mean, again, I don't think targeting down too low makes any sense. I think Facebook is smarter than that, and they can figure out who is going to click better than you can, and I just let the ad do it.
Yeah, it goes back to Facebook wanting to make the best experience for the person. So it's just because you have a broad audience doesn't mean it's going to show it to everybody, that you have in that audience. It's gonna narrow it down just by the pure algorithm that it has.
Yeah. So that's something I see people making big mistakes with, and I made the mistake as well when I first got in. I'm like, man, I don't know how to target.
Wait,
like,
we got that on recording. A mistake? You made a mistake?
It's very rare.
Oh, we got that on tape.
Very rare.
On tape. I love
tape.
On tape. Yeah.
What are you, like 80? Very, very rare that I make a mistake, but I did, because I would think that I didn't know how to target, and then like the more experience I got, I realized that it's not that. That's what they want you to think. That's what everybody wants you to think. That is, you just don't know how to target, and then they're gonna magically go in there and find the audience somehow that you couldn't find. It's BS. It's bullshit. No, BS. I gotta cut that out because we're not right.
We're uncensored.
We're uncensored.
Right.
Anyway, so it's probably not your targeting. So those are the 5 things that you should, in our experience, these are the 5 things that really, if you focus on these will be keys to running successful Facebook ads for sure.
Yeah, all right. So I think that pretty much wraps it up, right?
That's it.
This has been episode 30.
You sure?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. So you guys can go check it out on ecommerceuncensored.com anytime. You check out the podcast notes, episode number 30. And as Jason talked about earlier,
Pixel secrets, baby.
Yeah, if you guys want to learn more, because a lot of these things are going to come down to your Facebook pixel, so you got to learn more about that. So you can go to ecommerceuncensored.com/pixel-secrets. And thank you guys so much for joining us.
Later.